Can we please bring back real shock drops? Today we had a shock drop of the Union 1 Air Jordan 1 highs. And the reason why I used quotation marks was because it just didn't have a lot of characteristics or aspects of a real shock drop. First off, by saying that everybody already knew about it. We already had a lot of sneaker content creators, a lot of people who claim they have inside sources saying that they already knew about this and they were telling us it's going to be soon, it's going to be this day, it's going to be that day, and they're going to tell us, well, is it going to be a shock drop draw? Is it going to be a shock drop first come first serve, a shock drop Leo? It was a whole lot of stuff, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video because these people be swearing that they got the info. But regardless of all that, the Union 1 was a shock drop that turned into an exclusive access, which then turned into a draw. Nike, what are we doing? Now, we first saw this exclusive access draw method recently with the Galaxy Foamposites. And they said, hey, if you purchase or try to attempt 3 of the 6 colorways that we dropped for Foamposites, then we will give you exclusive access, which also, regardless if you did it or not, there is still a chance that you can or cannot get it. But if you do get blessed by getting this exclusive access, then you get to be put in a draw, which you have another chance to try and win it. So it's just a whole bunch of hoops that is so unnecessary. And I'm like, why would they even do that? But I was like, I guess that situation is pretty fair because the Foamposite, I wouldn't say it's that popular of a model. So I guess in that situation, it's okay to reward the loyal Foamposite cult, I guess. I don't know. But for the Union 1s, we didn't need that because it's a collab, it's Union, and it's a Jordan 1, and everybody loves all 3 of those things. So it was not necessary, but they did the same thing. And my question is, Nike, is this something that we're going to be seeing on a regular basis? Now, there are some people who like this and some people who don't like this. Me personally, I don't like this. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the pros, I guess, and the cons, I guess, of an exclusive access shock drop that you also get 2 hours to enter the draw in. So let's go, I don't know, should we just do the pros or cons? Let me just do the pros to play devil's advocate, man. So the pros of a shock drop exclusive access draw is that the way that this shock drop was happening, everybody knew about it in some form or fashion. Maybe everybody wasn't accurate, but everybody did have a heads up. And a lot of people don't really like the aspect of missing out. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're in school. I know when shock drops were actually real, I participated in the Air Jordan 1 UNC Off-White shock drop, and I was in the middle of school, and I was in a classroom where the teacher was really strict and I couldn't be on my phone, and it caused me to miss it, and there was no alerts ahead of time back in that time. So I just had to deal with the loss, but it felt like a very fair loss. But a lot of people, they just don't like that. They don't think it's fair because obviously you can be busy. But I think that's the whole point of a shock drop. We have all these other releases that gives you ample amount of time to prepare for. But again, you can't please everybody. So the pros of this is that it allows people to find out various ways up front that they do have, that they can start preparing for this shock drop. Now we get to the shock drop and it turns into exclusive access. Well, what is the pros of that? Honestly, there really isn't no pros of that. Exclusive access is completely random, especially in this case, compared to something where they give a clause. For example, you need to purchase or try to attempt 3 Foamposites to get the Galaxy Foamposites, but there wasn't a clause for this. I guess the pro is if you do get exclusive access, and because it is at random, it definitely shrinks the amount of people that have a chance to get this, which essentially makes your odds a little bit better, but that also contradicts the whole shock drop pro of not being able to miss out. Because trust me, if you don't get this exclusive access, and I've had sneakers since 2014 and I've only gotten exclusive access twice, and both for shoes that I just didn't care about whatsoever. So I don't know, it's contradictory. And then the 2 hour draw, what could possibly be the pro of that? Well, I guess you just get more time, but this also gives people more time to enter. If they did get the exclusive access, you essentially have 2 hours. So maybe you are at work, maybe you are at school, maybe you're in a meeting or something, and you can't be at your phone right away. At least this way, you have 2 hours to come to your phone. And in this day and age, there really isn't ever a time where you're just away from your phone for 2 hours straight, especially if you have prior knowledge because of the shock drop. Then you can plan ahead. So maybe you do have a meeting for 3 hours, or you're in school for X amount of time where you can't use your phone. At least you know that the shock drop is coming soon. Then, hey teacher, can I use the bathroom? Hey guys, I need to step out. Or you can always come up with an excuse later on. So those are the pros. Basically, just a lot of people kind of just complaining just to make sure that they have all types of access to the shoe. But going into the cons, which I'm against this shock drop exclusive access draw thing. To break it down, one, I think the shock drops need to go back to how they were. I think that's the whole purpose of a shock drop, just to have another essentially fun element in the sneaker game. A lot of people get tired of the same old release procedures, and this is one of those release procedures where we don't really have to worry about bots. If you just put it randomly there, you don't put it on the back end of the website, and then because even they did shock drops to where they'll put it on the back end and then you have 10 minutes of the shock drop. But in this day and age, 10 minutes is a lot of time for everybody to figure out, versus back in the day when the shock drop was literally right there. You had to be on your phone, and I think that's fun. Now, obviously, do we need a shock drop for every release? No, but that's how it was back in the day. They did it periodically, so it was for every so often, and maybe for a lot of exclusive things. And I think that's a really fun and engaging way to do a release, and it feels so fair if you win, and it feels so fair if you lose. Then the exclusive access that transforms into a draw. I think that's just dumb. That's basically you entering a raffle to get entered into another raffle. What is the point of that? And already sneakers, that's just like our chances are, I don't know. At this point, I think we have better chances of winning the lottery or getting struck by lightning to win on sneakers. I don't know. That's how I've been feeling lately. Obviously, the odds aren't that bad, but we all know how bad sneaker odds are. So you mean to tell me that I have to go through these bad odds not once, but twice? And then I have to wait 2 hours to give everybody ample enough time to enter and make sure, because again, a lot of the times that you look up on a release, maybe somebody's card declined, maybe somebody couldn't put their card information in time, or there's a lot of things, a lot of factors that play into it that could get you blessed with an extra pair. And I just think that that's more fair, that's a more fun way of doing it. And I don't know, just a raffle into a raffle, and then you're giving guys 2 hours to do so. I don't know. At that point, you might as well just do it at a regular release. At least we can get it over with in 10 minutes. Because what's the difference between a shock drop and a regular release? We already know the date and time of the so-called shock drop because you guys put it on the back end to allow all these people who have access to that to tell us and then leak it online, and then it becomes common knowledge. So what's the difference between you doing that and just saying, hey, release at 9 a.m., be ready? Now, I will say another pro to having a time frame on the shock drop and giving people a heads up. I will say, honestly, if you're not connected into sneaker Twitter or any type of sneaker page, it is usually hard to really find out about the releases. Because sneakers itself, they probably won't even, most of the times, they don't update you until after the fact, or to the point where it's too late if it's not a draw. So I will give that to them. But, you know, me personally, I do my research and I'm tapped in. And I think it is common knowledge, though, to be tapped into at least one type of sneaker outlet. And it is not that hard to do. All you got to do is follow a page on Instagram or Twitter. So at that point, it's kind of lazy. But you guys can let me know in the comment section below. Do you enjoy the current format of the shock drops? Do you want them to continue how they are, being told in advance, giving you a heads up? And then do you like the exclusive access that goes into a draw? Or would you rather just have a shock drop? It just drops right then and now. If you're on your phone, you have a better chance. If you're not, you're out of luck. And then the exclusive access, do you just want it to be regular exclusive access? or do you want it to be an exclusive access that goes into a draw? There's pros and cons to them, but I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, fall out. Peace.